I think there are a lot of benefits to street photography that we don't often think about or associate as much with doing street photography as, compared to like the photos themselves. But yeah, the one that I wanted to talk about here in this video is that street photography makes you live in the moment. So with street photography, you have to be like, present on the street. You need to be like looking for photos, like your next photos, and you're taking in your surroundings, and you're like, scanning your field of view for compositions and thinking about what things you can use as compositional elements in your photos. And so you're actively like living in the world around you. You're taking in the world around you. And I know that, myself personally, I'm only speaking for myself, obviously, but I think this applies to a lot of people where in today's age, we have like so much technology and our phones and our apps, and we're just like not living in the present moment. And I don't want to try to get like, super like woo woo with this, in terms of like spirituality or like meditation. But like, I feel like street photography is like an excellent way of basically, doing like a form of meditation, honestly. Because like with meditation, like a lot of it is like clearing your mind. And with street photography, like you're getting rid of all of the like excess things that like you have going on in your life. And you're just like present and focused on, what's around you, and just, taking photos and making photos. So honestly, I feel like street photography is like a gift, like this thing we get to do. It's a privilege. And so that brings me to my next point, which is that like a lot of people are just like very preoccupied, and this can be me, myself included at times, but just preoccupied with, things going on in their lives or whatever. And we're not like, as present in our day-to-day lives as we should be. Like, even just like driving down the road or whatever, like, you're thinking about like, having to pay the bills or whatever. And with street photography, like, I just feel like all of that just like goes away. It's just, you in the streets and your camera, and just there's always something to strive for. I like how street photography requires you to focus, and I find that this feels like it grounds me in the real world. Street photography for me is like, gives me the opportunity to focus on like what I want to focus on. Like it's very interesting to me, like just the world we live in, and being able to take that all in while kind of making a art form and almost like a game out of it, like looking and seeing and like finding ways to make interesting compositions is just like really like engaging and fun and interesting for me. And so once I'm out on the street in the real world, and like I'm taking everything in around me, like I can like let things go. Like I feel like, other issues in my life, like I can, let them go temporarily, like while I'm doing street photography. And, that's because like I'm focusing on, on taking photos and looking for my next photo, my next shot. and also just like enjoying the process of like being outside. I think we take, just being outside for granted these days. Maybe it's because I grew up in a more rural area, but like I really appreciate, just the simple things of being outside and seeing the green on the trees and the sunlight and, just walking down the sidewalk. It's really easy to spend a lot of time at home or just going to and from work and not appreciating the world around you. Call me crazy, but I don't think we as human beings should be cooped up in cubicles all day, or like, spending the majority of our time inside at home. I think like you need to, get outside in the fresh air. And just to tie this back into street photography, obviously, like street photography allows you to do that. It requires you to do that. And I just think that it's like, something that we don't often think about, but it's just a beautiful thing about street photography. So beautiful. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. So let me know if street photography makes you feel like more present and like more like you're living in the moment. Thanks for watching.